Hello and welcome back to some Banished. I've been a little busy since our last recording in our map here. Where to start? I suppose we'll go up into our farming community. Not too much has changed, but at one point we dropped to about 95,000 food, and it made me feel a little weird dropping under 100,000. So I have put in 2 more fields. I keep moving these back. They were originally over here and they get moved back. We're mostly growing corn now. For just the dual purpose of corn. You can eat it and you can turn it into flour. And so just like real life, we are producing lots of corn. Unfortunately, in real life, most corn probably gets turned into high fructose corn syrup. Which, they tell you, oh, high fructose corn syrup, it's fine in moderation, but it's like they put it in everything. How are you supposed to eat high fructose corn syrup in moderation when it's in literally everything? At least where I'm from, it's in everything. Like North America, we put it in everything. Which is not good. So that's my rant for this video. High fructose corn syrup bad. So yeah, we're growing lots of corn. Oh wow, this is actually almost full. Let's go ahead and put up another grain silo then. Here we go. And we'll put it we'll put it over on this side. Did it go? Yeah. Alright, speaking of grain, we also have our new distillery district over here. Put up a distillery. We're making whiskey, so we're really getting into it now. He's out of glassware at the moment, but I think I switched the other glass maker back to making sheets of glass. But for a time, we did have some glassware stocked up. It seems like he went through it. But yeah, I just put a huge farm or a huge field of barley over here and gave him a grain silo, and as you can see, this guy is pumping out the whiskey using all the resources until he runs out. At first I just had 4 little houses over here and our population dipped. We got to like 28 babies, so then I put down this new neighborhood over here that will be growing, I'm sure. We have another house that yeah, we're running out of sheets of glass, so that's why I put the one guy back on sheets instead of just glass bottles. So hopefully all these older people moved into these houses and they're not having any children. Come on, old people. I'm sorry. I mean, they're not that old, but they're too old to be having babies. In Banished anyway. I have nothing against, people like people in their 40s. It's fine. It's just in Banished, they don't seem to have as many babies. What else? Downtown is coming along. I put in a church, and as you can see, we have 100 members down here already. Put in just a little garden. I mean, look at this huge window in the church. You get to look out in this garden. We have, some kind of regal statue made of marble. And, just a little lavender plant. In the plaza, we have a small graveyard. Holds 8 graves. And, we have a little pond here. That's been in there for a while. But I'm trying to fill in these triangles. I want to leave one open so it's like a village green or just an open place for people to gather, lay a blanket down, read a book, whatever. I think I might turn this one into something. I'm not sure yet. I really need to use these kind of stand-alone flowers, so I think I might make like a big flower field over here. I don't know. I thought it might be interesting. I have let the people build these mansions. Of course, the cleric has to grab one. That's how it goes. When you run the nicest church in town, I suppose you deserve a mansion. I don't know. What else? Oh, we have preserves, and he's out of glassware. I probably just need, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put in a second glass maker. I think the problem, though, is we're not having enough sand. So I actually don't think we need another glassmaker. We need another shore house. And where would one? Here we go. And can we... I had it backwards. There we go. So we just need some more sand, which is fine. We've been needing bricks for ages now. I think they finally have all the main roads filled in. It was, it was like the brickmaker makes a box of bricks, which, one box equals one tile. And so for the longest time, they were just hammering in one square of bricks at a time. It was slow going for a while. I put in a inn and garden in downtown. Like, the downtown needs its own inn and garden slash, tavern. And I'm going to put in a couple of those smaller taverns around downtown because you need more than one, What if, like, the chips or the fried pickles suck at this inn and, that would just be horrible. You need variety when it comes to downtown restaurants slash eateries, in my opinion. I put in a brewery. They have a brewery on site, and I keep making pumpkin ale, but it's so efficient. We have pumpkins grow so easily and so, what's the word? Dependently. Like, they're so dependable. I know the pumpkins are going to be there. Berries we run out of. I tried peaches. We run out of those. I need to make more orchards, apparently. I did put in a whole bunch of new apiaries because I am determined to have a brewery make nothing but mead. It will happen. Just got to get the apiaries built and stabbed. And so, yeah, they got their own brewery. It is a pumpkin ale brewery on site. And when I put it in, I'm like, oh, look, like no space between this house and the brewery. But it's like, you're living in downtown. Like, if you're going to live in downtown, you don't get a yard. Like, that's just how, if you're going to live in a downtown area, you're not going to have a yard. You're not going to have a lot of space. You're lucky to have a deck to walk out on, okay? So, that it is what it is. You live in downtown. You don't have much space, but, you get to live right next to an inn, okay? Like, you get to live right next to somewhere that you can go and eat and drink at. You don't even have to cook for yourself. It's all about balance and what you like, all about your lifestyle. I would hate living at this house, but, I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy living right next to somewhere they could go eat. Oh yeah, I was showing you this. This is our preservist, and he is making strawberry jam, which is amazing. My mother, she gets on kicks a lot. Like, every couple months, she's, like, into something new. At one point, it was golfing. At one point, it was horseback riding. At one point, it was, crafting. She goes through these, like, I don't want to call them phases, but just different, things that she's interested in, different hobbies. And at one point, it was jam making. And no, I'm not kidding. For, 3 weeks, all she did was make jam in her house. And I'm not lying when I tell you her homemade strawberry jam is the best jam or jelly across the board that I've ever had in my life. It was so good. And it was 3 weeks I was living in blissful jam paradise. And then, ooh, didn't mean to hit that. And then after that, she never made another jar, unfortunately. Kind of sucked. But, maybe she'll get on a different kick where she makes, crepes for 3 weeks or something. I don't know. Her hobby of the week right now is photography. She went out and bought this really expensive camera. And I'm hoping that maybe her photography hobby will last more than just the 3 weeks. But, I don't know. That's what my mom likes to do. Okay, down here... This has turned into my... Wow, the chickens have went crazy. Okay, so you know how I have a town or a house up in the Noble Village? This is my mansion house that I would live at if I had to live in this village. I thought, if I'm going to have a house in the city, which to me, this is in the city. If I'm going to have to live in the city, I need a house with brick stone walls. I'm not talking chain link fence here. I need a wall made out of stone if I'm going to be living in the city between me and my neighbor. So I figured, I probably won't honestly be here a lot. So I have decided to make myself a little country estate with a whole bunch of chickens. I love chickens. I don't want to do factory farming here. Let's bring it down to 40 chickens. I mean, there's 42 in here right now, and it looks like a lot. And I am not into factory farming. Let's give these guys some room to breathe. So this is my little farm estate out from the city, not too far from the market, so I can go get fresh jam and milk whenever I need it. But I have my own little walkway, own little bridge over here. I'm trying to turn in... Nope, just hitting the wrong buttons. Never mind. I had like a moment of, am I in The Sims? Am I in a space colony? Where am I at? How do I turn the camera? I figured it out, don't worry. So this is my little farm estate. I will be putting in flower beds, and I'll probably have an orchard back here next to the hill, and pathways. I will build it up. No mansion here, just a little country house where I could come and, get away from the city, come farm my chickens. I do love chickens. Speaking of chickens, this just reminded me of something that happened yesterday. So every day that's nice out, like the temperature's nice, around like 4 p.m. my time, I'll take the dog and the cat outside and we'll let my chickens out into the yard so they can free range a little bit. I do it, a couple days a week when it's nice out. I'll go outside and let them out. But yesterday, I let them out, and I have just like a little chair that I sit out there and, I'll read a book or watch YouTube or something while they're pecking around the yard and my dog and cat are running around. My dog starts freaking out. She only freaks out when there's an animal in the yard, and I'm talking any animal. It can be a mouse, a squirrel, another dog, a cat, whatever. She will freak out. She will chase it off of her property. She knows her boundary lines. Like, she's actually really good about knowing where she can and can't leave the yard. Or, well, it's more the property. We're on like 4.5 acres, so she knows what's ours and what she can't leave. And usually she'll chase something off the property, and that's that. Well, yesterday, she like started going crazy and like didn't stop. So I eventually had to go to the front yard and see what she was barking at. It was like a really ancient beagle, like a beagle dog, and it was ancient. Like this guy was old. And he had a collar on, and he was so old I don't think he could even hear or really see very far. Because when I was walking up to it, it didn't act like it saw me, it didn't acknowledge me at all until I was like 3 feet away from it, and then it bolted. Like it noticed that a human was there that it did not know, and it bolted. So I'm trying to run after it, because I had a collar on, and my dog is going insane the whole time because instead of like going across the road, it went to my backyard, and that's still part of Lola's, I guess, territory. And so I tried to run it back there, and it went through a brush pile, and by the time I got around the brush pile, I lost it. So I came inside, put my dog in a room because she's losing her mind at this point and making it very difficult to calm the beagle down when, there's a Pomeranian screaming in your face. And, let's get these beekeepers up and running. Put in 2 new apiaries. I figure, it's right next to the apple and peach orchard. The bees would love being in this area. But anyway, so back to my beagle story. Come inside. I check Facebook because the county I live in has a Facebook page for lost and found pets, and sure enough, there was a lady on there who said, "Has anybody seen a beagle running around, so and so county?" And I get her phone number, and I was getting ready to call her, and I stepped outside on my front porch, and sure enough, the beagle is in my front yard again. I don't know if maybe he found something to eat or what he was doing up there. But, so I try to get close to him, and I don't want to grab his collar because I didn't want him to, bolt, and then I would, choke him, and then he would freak out. I don't know. So I just, petted him on the back real quick. He didn't even know I was there. And as soon as I touched him, he like rolled over and kind of like snipped at me. He didn't like growl and bite at me, but just kind of like a warning snip, like, I don't know you, why are you touching me? And then I got kind of leery about grabbing his collar because I didn't want him to actually bite me, without knowing the dog. And so like, of course, started walking away from me at that point, and I call a number on Facebook, and a guy picks up, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I see your dog, and it won't let me grab him, and he's like freaking out. He's like, okay, my wife's on her way, where are you at? Try to explain where I'm at. By this time, the dog has like made it up to the... I live on a bluff. It's like kind of hard to explain. We live on a bluff, and the road comes up. It's like cut out from rock. That probably doesn't make any sense to you, but anyway, we're up on a bluff, and the dog takes off on the edge of the bluff, and I'm trying to follow him while like on the phone with this guy, and I'm like breathing heavy, like hiking up this bluff, and and he's like, I'm trying to explain, he's asking a billion questions, and I'm like, I don't know, it's a dog, it's a bluff, we're near this road, and he's like trying to get all this information, and I'm just like trying to help him and follow the dog. By the time his wife gets where I'm at, I've lost the dog. And I feel horrible, right? Because I've got these people's hopes up that I found their dog, and then they get there, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of lost him. He went through a tree line, and by the time I got through it, he was gone, or he, switched around and went backwards on me. And, she's like, oh, it's okay. I'm just glad to hear he's alive. We haven't seen him in a couple days, and he's really old. And so, yeah, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to walk back to my house. If I see him, I'll call you. I'll put a bowl of water out for him. Maybe he'll come back up to my house. He's been there twice already. No luck, though. I come home, I take a shower because... Oh, the chickens. That's, like, what made me think about it. My chickens, this entire time, I'm hiking around the bluffs. My chickens are just out in my yard, and my dog is inside, so she's not watching the chickens like normal. The only... the person watching the chickens is the cat, and I don't know if she really does much watching. I guess she probably keeps animals out of the yard, maybe, but I don't know. So I'm like on my way back home, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot the freaking chickens were out. And like I said, we live on the bluff, so we have a lot of hawks around here. And if I'm not with them, I like kind of panic because hawks will swoop up and eat chickens like pretty regularly. But I get back, and they're all huddled under my chair, like dust bathing. So they were fine. Put them in their coop, came inside and showered. And when I got out of the shower, I had 3 missed calls. And as I was checking my missed calls, the lady with the dog called again. And I answered it. And she was like, we found the dog. It was across from the road you live on. Thank you so much for calling. And it felt really good that it had a happy ending, because I was scared for a little bit that I called these people and got their hopes up, and they weren't even going to be able to find their dog. But they did, and it was awesome. And, it was good karma for me, I'm hoping. If my dog ever goes lost, hopefully, the world will remember that one time that I helped someone find their ancient beagle, and they'll help me find my dog. So that's my good feel story for the week. Good deed for the month, or for the week, for the month. That would be horrible if I only did one good deed a month. But yeah, so that's my lost dog story. I'm so glad they found it, because if they wouldn't have, I would have just felt bad all week, probably a couple weeks. But it was awesome they found him. And my chickens were okay, which is how this story got brought up. That still looks like a lot of chickens, but, there's some space. There's some open space. They're fine. What else? I put in the apiaries over here, because I want to get mead. Like, that has to be a thing. I might actually put in another one, if I can fit it where I want to, right over here. Can I squeeze you in? Come on. Oh, right there. There we go. And let's put in another stone house over here. Now, this is a little bit of the country, so I mean, these people need some yards. There's no reason to cramp them in over here. Well, actually, I was looking at our map. Let me pull up the map here. And I mean, we have some room over here, but we're running out of room I mean, we have up here and stuff. We got room to grow. Don't get me wrong, there's still some room to grow. However, it is rapidly disappearing. I've got a nice big space over here yet. On the other side of this river is untouched, pretty much, except for my little estate over here. And yeah, it's probably wasting a lot of space, but I want a farm estate. If I'm gonna imagine living in this map, then I want multiple places to go. Let's fast forward. I don't want to be stuck in winter. Winter is upon us in my part of the world, and I'm not looking forward to it. But it is what it is. Fall living up on this bluff is amazing because we have like at the bottom of one side of the bluff we live on is a valley, and there's like a river that flows through it, as well as on one side of the river there are farms, and I think the guy grows corn, and you know, imagine that, he grows corn. But it's so pretty in the fall with all the trees, because you can see for about, I don't know, 16 miles in one direction, and it's just like foothills with trees all over. And in the valley there's a lot of pretty trees. So fall's really nice. Winter though, like, you look out, unless it snows, but like if it's just, you know, winter and there's no snow, it's just like brown as far as the eye can see. It's just like dull gray brown. It's a little depressing, except for when it snows. Once it snows, then it's like really pretty, because everything has that layer of snow on it, all the trees. All right, I'm babbling here. Let's play some Banished, I suppose. All right, what do we need? I never put a dredger, or not a dredger. What is it, a shoreman? Shoreman. Oh, they haven't built it yet. I saw the little railings and I thought it was already built. Not the case. And you are doing sand, right? Yeah. And I found, like, when I move the map, if I pause it, it moves so much smoother. You're out of mutton, really? At one point, we had so much mutton, we didn't know what to do with it all. Are you really out? Alright, mutton. Mutton cuts. We have no mutton. We have a ton of sheep. How in the world do you have no mutton? Well, I don't know. We're doing fine on food. I feel like I don't want to take up any more space with farming quite yet if I don't have to. That silo is full. They're building this one over here. Oh, come on, people. Oh, they're just planting. I thought they were harvesting. I forgot we just got out of winter. I put this road in, which has seemed to cut down on a lot of time from people going from the farming community over to the noble village, because before there wasn't this bridge here, so they had to go the long way around. And it seems like this has cut a lot of time off from people shuffling back and forth trying to keep these vendors stocked. Tallow. There's a protein stall and all they have is tallow. Like, how gross. Tallow here. The nightmare house. I'm getting pretty far on the nightmare house in Sims, and I am having so much fun building that house. I just completed the library. I'm working on the bedroom next. The shed, the creepy shed, will be uploaded on Halloween, of course. Like, is there any better time? I need to trim the trees back here. Let's work on this neighborhood up here. Now that they got it all in, I just want stone roads. Let's do that. And maybe, a road down the middle. We'll put some houses. And let's connect this road just to the bridge area. This guy is constantly running out of stuff. We do have another fuel refinery that I put in because we're using quite a few buildings are using the refined fuel, or furnace fuel. I still can't say it. Furnace fuel. Quite a few are using that. This is having trouble staying stocked. Guess he's going through the barley like crazy. How many? Okay, like 10 a month. That's not too bad. This is 1% full, which usually it's 0%, so that's better. This is always full. All the people in Old Town like their booze, okay? They will fight for their booze. They do not share very well in this part of town. And down here, how are we doing? Yeah, 12% full. People in I mean, it's downtown, you know. The people in downtown expect a little, you know, they expect a little more. And, you know, you would think that the nobles would too, but apparently they're not big drinkers over here. They, you know, they don't have a lot of alcohol over here. I don't remember if I talked about changing my town flag, but I found this. Please move. I found this one, and it just seems a little more like posh, kind of. So I don't know. I felt like it fit with my village a little better than the other one. I need to see. I'm assuming this is like a country's actual flag. I need to see who it belongs to. But let's get this shoreman working there. Couldn't find it for a minute. And I'm gonna need a lot more bricks. There's a lot more roads going in. I'm gonna put an avenue here. It's gonna be 5 wide, and in the middle I'm gonna put lampposts, so that's why I made it 5. And it's just gonna be like this huge avenue that goes down to the hill over here, and it's just gonna have, like, I'm not sure yet, probably another tavern on it. You know, kind of like entertainment type stuff. Not that we have a lot of entertainment stuff, but if I can use my imagination to make something, you know, like maybe a jewelry store. I know it's a gem cutter, but, you know, I'm sure that's where you go to buy jewelry. I don't know. Some other type stuff that's going to go on the main avenue. It'll probably go up to as well. Oh, and I had an idea. So there's all this fort stuff in here. Like, we have, like, the palisade walls. And there's, like, this really cool... Where did I find it? Is it here? No, that's the shipbuilding stuff. It's somewhere, I promise. It's like... You could walk up on it. I don't know where I found it. I'll find it again somewhere. But it's... I have, like, all this kind of... I just called it... What, like, fort stuff. There we go. Fort stuff. And I thought about making a kind of military area, maybe back here in this corner, or maybe on the edge of the map, you know? On the edge of the map seems a little more practical for kind of military stuff, you know, protecting your borders and whatnot. But I figured, you know, it's in the mod. I might as well use it. I'm not sure it actually does anything, but, you know, I figured it's here. Let's try to work up to it. We worked up to a lot of other things, the townhouses and, you know, stuff that I really wanted. Now we can get to the lesser stuff. Not lesser, but, you know, stuff that I don't care as much about. But I thought it could be like a cool addition to our town. And I've started packing in the houses over here. I started putting them side by side once I realized that I'm going to be running out of space sooner rather than later. And, you know, I thought about ripping these out, but I'm like, these are the ones you pay a little extra for, right? Like, yeah, you don't have much more of a yard, but you have a yard, okay? And you even have a tree. So, you know, if you own a dog, maybe you would rather live in one of these with the little yards next to them. You know, you go outside, let your little dog in the yard. These people have literally like a strip of grass, and that is it. So, you know, the rent in these last 4 are probably a little higher. But that's what I've been working on in Banished. Next video, I think, might be a little more city planning and building rather than just showing what I've been doing. And this one seemed like a lot of storytelling, but that's okay. You need some commentary in some videos, I suppose. So if you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe if you'd like to see some more Banished content, and I will see you next time in Banished.